I want to live in New York City, but I hear people talk about uptown and downtown and midtown. Can you explain what all of those are and how it relates to like rental prices? Hey, I'm a licensed real estate agent in New York State. I live and work in Manhattan. People hire me to help them find their homes, and I make these videos to give you information that hopefully helps. Uptown, downtown, midtown, what does it all mean? First of all, it only applies to Manhattan. You don't talk about that other stuff. I mean, there is like a downtown Brooklyn and stuff, but when people are talking about uptown, downtown, and midtown, they're talking about Manhattan. So we'll start with uptown. Technically, anything above 59th is going to be considered uptown, and that street number marks the bottom of Central Park. Central Park runs from 59th to 110th, north to south, or south to north. So uptown is anything above 59th. That is a huge chunk of the island. It's like 2/3. I think the numbers go all the way up to like 218 or something, way up in the top of Inwood. So I would say most of Manhattan is considered uptown. And in terms of prices, that's the least expensive rent you're going to find. Obviously, there are pockets within it, like the Upper West Side and parts of the Upper East Side, that are very expensive. Anything really close to Central Park. But generally speaking, the further uptown you go, the less expensive apartments get, or the more square footage you get for the same price. So as an example, if you want to get your own one bedroom for $2,000, and you want to do that in Midtown or downtown, forget about it. But if you want to do that uptown, that's absolutely a possibility. You're probably going to have to be above 110, but that's where really, really good deals are. So coming down from uptown is going to be Midtown. Midtown's going to be from 59th all the way down to, and the bottom part of Midtown and the top of downtown is up to people's debates. Some people say it's 32nd. Some people say it's 23rd. Some people even say it's 14th Street. I feel like if you live downtown, you get really proprietary about where the line is. So like I live downtown and I'm like, dude, 14th Street. But if someone lives on 15th or 16th, they don't want to say that they're in Midtown. So let's say for the sake of this video, Midtown is going to be above 23rd, below 59th. That part of Manhattan is super busy. It's where most of the offices are, and it's also where a lot of the big touristy stuff is that you see, like Times Square or the Empire State Building, Madison Square Garden. All that stuff is going to be firmly in Midtown. Prices, rental-wise, can be kind of weirdly expensive, considering the area is not maybe the most awesome, but it's very central. You get lots of good public transportation options. Every single train is going to stop in Midtown. And in terms of rental deals, Hell's Kitchen has some really good deals. Hudson Yards has some good deals, but the area just sucks to live in. I would not recommend anyone living in Hudson Yards. Sorry to the developers who spent all that money out there. And then there are other deals on the east side of Midtown, like Murray Hill, Sutton Place, Turtle Bay. But price-wise, generally speaking, it's kind of in the middle, like Midtown. And then you get to downtown. Downtown, for the sake of this video, let's say it's anything below 23rd. Some people say 32nd, some people say 14th. But below 23rd, as the numbers start going down, they go down to 1, and then you hit Houston. And then below Houston, the streets get all old, and they're diagonals, and they all have names. That is the oldest part of Manhattan. That's the first part of Manhattan that was sort of established by the Dutch and the British and all those conquerors. And it is the most expensive part of Manhattan to live in, and it is probably the most trendy. It's where all the bars and restaurants are. It's where the West Village is. It's where Soho is. It's where Tribeca is. So it's a very small area and very limited real estate, and also a lot of it is historically protected and landmarked. So there just aren't new developments or new units being built down there. So super high demand, super low supply means very, very expensive. However, if you are trying to find some deals down there, I would say places like Chinatown, parts of the Lower East Side. There's an area called Two Bridges down there, which is sort of where Chinatown and Lower East Side meet. And there's some deals in Fide too, because traditionally it was not really a place where people lived. It was a place where people worked. But they're doing a lot of conversions from office space to residential space, and there's just tons of units down there. So you can find some good deals down in Fide as well, but not like uptown. Generally speaking, downtown is the most expensive, midtown is the mid-expensive, and uptown is the least expensive. There's beautiful parts in every part of Manhattan, So many different vibes and energies. You really should either come here and explore it for yourself, or hire someone that really knows the city and you trust their opinion. But there's great places to live in all three sections. So it's about your budget and your vibe. All right. Good luck out there. Okay, bye.